Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Friday, March 19th, 2021. We are on the final day of the trading week, and we are on the final hour of the trading day. The final hour of the trading day is my favorite time to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions. I say this because during the day, you have the day traders and you have the algorithms. They are the ones that are in control of the price. During the final hour, in particular, the last few minutes, the large financial institutions come in. They take control away from the day traders and the algorithms because they're dealing with the most money and they can move the price. In my opinion, following what the large financial institutions are doing at the end of the day for your entry and exit signals, I believe is a long-term edge in your trading strategy. I have been doing this for years and it made a big difference. So that is why I am primarily an end of day trader, waiting for the last few minutes of the day to make my buying and selling decisions. So thank you all for coming. It's always nice to see everyone. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you spending your time here. I always look forward to this time of the day to hang out with my trader friends and exchange ideas. So I hope that the time that you're spending here is paying some dividends as far as learning some good trading and investing principles. So currently, the Dow is down 85 points, down 0.26%. The NASDAQ, however, is up 112 points, up 0.86%. And the S&P is also up 12.34%. So, in the last couple weeks, we've had a lot of rotation out of tech into financials, not financials, but the industrials, especially the Dow 30. Yesterday we had the big down day on everything, and today it looks like NASDAQ is more in favor than the Dow. So anyway, all right, here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back. We're going to take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have a couple day trades today that I will also share with you. After that, we're going to go over to the board. If you're one of my current or past students, you're able to put your positions up on the board. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have 8 positions over there. So we will go over there and see how those are doing. Everything looks green except for one, so that's good. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about trader psychology. In my opinion, most important skill that you will ever learn in trading is being able to control your emotions. Easy to say, hard to do. And that's why I do like to talk about trading strategies, maybe some helpful tips, good trading words of wisdom during that time. Just all in all, to help you with your psychology, or maybe just help you with some trading ideas and some things that I do, and being able to look and put into context in my head certain ideas. So we'll talk about that. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I have gone down through the results of Kamal Scanner. I do have 3 requirements when I look to enter any trade. The first requirement is I need to look for a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. I look at indicators such as MACD, RSI, ATR channels, moving averages. I look at these as potential groups of buyers. And if you can combine potential groups of buyers on the same time frame, and ideally on multiple time frames, it's going to increase your chances of having a profitable trade. It doesn't mean you're going to, but it does increase your chances, in my opinion. So that's my entire trading approach, is looking for confluences, combination of indicators lining up. Secondly, after that, even if you do have a good combination or confluence of indicators, you still need to make sure that you have a good risk to reward ratio. This is crucial in profitable trading. There are a lot of setups where there's lots and lots of confluences, but if it's too chasey, if there's not a good risk to reward ratio, I just have to let it pass. I need to be able to make at least 2 times to the upside compared to what I'm potentially losing to the downside, based upon strong and valid support below me and based upon strong and likely resistance above me. I need to be able to make 2 times more to the upside than to the downside. And then number 3, always take a few minutes, make sure that you want to take this trade. Is it a clean trade? You know exactly what your trade plan is. You know exactly how many shares you're going to buy, depending on volatility, where your emergency stop's going to be, where your end of day stop's going to be, where your profit targets are going to be, where your overhead resistances are going to be. You know, we never know what the market's going to do, but we have to know what we're going to do regardless of what's happening with the market. That is key. All right. So I do have some end of day candidates. I am going to go down through each one. We'll go through each time frame with a fine tooth comb. Look for those confluences, look for those combinations, look for those risk to reward ratios. And if I do find something that looks good at the end of the day, I will go ahead and buy it right before the market closes. After the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. If you would like me to take a look at any stock symbols, please put them in the chat. I will do my very best to get to them before the close of the market. And then lastly, if any of my students have any new entries today or any new exits today, if you could please wait until the markets close before you tell me about them. That way I'm done with trading, pressure's off. Markets closed. We can all relax and take as much time as we need to get them updated. Okay. So I am going to run the US legal disclaimer. If you could hang on for about 40 seconds and I will be back in just a few, in 40 seconds after we run the legal disclaimer. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right. Well, let's take a look and see who is here today. Tracy is here in number 1 position. Good to see you, Tracy. Hope you are doing well. Hope Paxton is doing well. I'm looking forward to our lesson next week. Johan is here. Good to see you, Johan. Hope you are having a good evening in Hong Kong. Dan says, hey, hey, hey. What's up, Dan? Good to see you, my friend. Always love hearing from Dan. Johan says CCL. What is that, Carnival? Yeah, that's a tough one. We did come into the value zone. We did hold 2 bars sideways motion. We do have a V1. I don't like that we have this double top with the bearish divergence. See, we have the high here with the tall MACD bars. We pull back to red. Then we made a higher high on lower MACD bars. This is a bearish divergence. We had a dip after the bearish divergence, which makes sense that it was bought. I would be real careful with this one, because if we get a lower high like V1 trigger, I would imagine we would have a big leg down. But that's just a guess. It's just speculation. It hasn't happened yet, although actually it happened yesterday. We have the high, pullback, high, bought the dip. The dip went up. We had a V1 to the downside. We're right at halfway of yesterday's yesterday's down bar day. Oh man. Me personally, I mean, I'm just going to give you my honest opinion, Johan. Because of this double top with the bearish divergence and a lower high V1, it wouldn't interest me. David is here. Hope you're doing well, David. Hope you and the family are doing well. Always nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Lilia is here. Hi all. Hello, Lilia. Good to see you. Nice chatting with you earlier. Hope you are doing well. Mamal is here. Hi all. Hello Mamal. Nice to see you as always. eBay up again for Mamal. Glad to see that. Frank is here. Hello Greg and group. Hello Mr. Frank. Good to see you, sir. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for everything that you do for the channel. Speaking of helping out the channel also is Kamal. Kamal, thank you. Good seeing you. Good chatting with you earlier today. And of course, thank you for everything that you do for the channel as well. Nigma is here. Hello, everyone. Hi, Nigma. Good to see you. Sunny, how you doing, Sunny? I love that name. Hello. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well. Jatin is here. Good to see you. Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to you as well, sir. Steve Burns is here. Good to see you, Steve. Always an honor, privilege to have you here. Thank you for everything that you do for this channel, and I hope you're having a good day. Steve says, hello, traders. We are in the final weekend countdown. Yes, we are. Nigma says, I bought your Moving Averages 101, Steve. Excellent. My favorite trading book of all time. That's how I got to know Steve, was from that first book, Moving Averages 101. Read that and put it to work, Nigma. There's really good stuff in there. Okay, let's take a look. Current positions. All right, so Tracy and I think Tracy and I are in Facebook. This has been a fantastic trade. We had a 520 crossover. I didn't buy it. I bought it the next day when the crossover was still in place. I like this setup a lot. Thank you to Kamal for pointing this out to me. But we had the 520 crossover. It was a little chasey. We had a nice pullback. We bounced off support at the 50 RSI, the 50 SMA, the 10, the 5, the 20. I bought it here at 268.32, and this has just been a monster all the way up. 3 profit targets today, up 4.18% just today alone. And this trade so far up 7.5%. We are getting to some pretty high areas. We're getting up here near the third ATR channel. 64 RSI. I am going to go ahead and take profits on this today. This is a big kind of climax bar here, lots of volume. You know how I day trade. When I get big, huge bars like this, I like to take advantage of them and kind of sell when the getting's good, right? And the getting's good, and it's a 7.5% move in about a week. And so I am just going to go look for some better risk to reward ratios at this time. Chances are maybe we have one more day up. I don't really know for sure, but all I know is that's a huge, beautiful gain. And I'm just going to look for some better risk to reward ratios. So I am going to lock in profits on Facebook today. I'm glad Tracy's in there with me. QS. All right, Lilia and I did buy QS at 58.41 with a 520 crossover, sideways motion. Next day we had a big up day, did hit some profit targets. I always take off a percentage of my position whenever the market really wants to give me some profits. Next day came back down, sideways, sideways, sideways. I did keep this because it held the 50 RSI. And it just didn't go down as much as the rest of the market. It is up 4.12% today. I did hit one profit target here at 60.15. So this is in the money now, thankfully, after yesterday's shellacking. And so I will be holding this today and just going forward because we haven't had a close below the previous day's low. It's holding everything. So the risk to reward is still good on this trade. I will be keeping this trade, but glad that it went back in the positive. SPY. All right. Well, overnight SPY trade's been a little tricky lately. First part of the month was excellent. Last few days, not so hot tamale. I bought yesterday at 391.48. Sold this morning for a loss at 389.94. This overnight SPY trade can be real streaky. You can go on really long win streaks. You can go on really long losing streaks. I mean, I remember when back during the February, March of 2020, when we had all that going on, that was brutal. Actually, if somebody would have told me that I would have ended up positive using this strategy in 2020, I would have said that they were high, literally, right? Because it was horrible, but unbelievable. Ended up 2020 positive after that horrible beginning. So you never know. I guess what I'm saying is I'm glad I stuck with it. You know, if you're trading a strategy that you believe in, stick through it. You're going to have drawdowns. You're going to have times where you think, hey, this thing is broken. And look, if you're not in phase with the market, it is broken. But, you know, imagine if I would have just stopped and not continued using that. That would have been painful, right? But I'm glad I did. So anyway, I lost on here. I bought at 391.48. I sold at 389.94. So I will be buying this again today at the close with the market on close order, and I will hold it over the weekend, take the overnight over weekend risk, and sell it first thing Monday morning. Square. All right. So Frank, Gary, and I did buy Square with the 1050 EMA crossover. Bought it here at 241.85. 1050 EMA crossover. Bought it at 241.33. Excuse me. Moved up, hit some profit targets. Got hammered yesterday with the big sell-off in tech. The price closed below the 10 and the 50 EMA, but the 10 was still above the 50. So my protocol there is to sell half. So I did sell half yesterday because that is a bad sign. It's up a little bit today, definitely down on the trade, but I'll just be waiting for the 10 to cross under the 50 EMA to get out of the rest of the position, or if it hits my emergency stop, that's another option. Hopefully not, but you never know. Or it continues up, right? So I know one of those three things are going to happen, and I have a plan regardless of what's going to happen. TMO, Johan, Lilia, and I bought Thermo Fisher yesterday at 446.61. Higher low, close back above the 200-day moving average, close back above the -1 ATR channel, plus a V1. Bought it here at 446.61. It's up 0.47% today. It's up $2.09. So in the money, thankfully, especially when the market, you saw, the market this morning was just horrible, especially at the beginning there with the Dow. So I am very grateful that this is hanging in there. This is going to have to move 1.5 ATRs from my entry. If it does, then I will go into trailing stop mode, meaning that I will sell half of my position if I get a close below the previous day's low. Alternatively, if we get a close below the 200-day moving average, I will get out of the trade. That is my end of day stop. So far so good and profitable. All right, Apple. I did have a trade on Apple earlier today. All right, here we go. This is on the 5-minute chart. We had a 520 crossover. I didn't chase it, and a bullish engulfing bar. I didn't chase it. It seemed a little high. I waited for a pullback on the next bar, which I got, so it improved my risk to reward ratio. I got in at 120.46, moved up here. I didn't like the close below the 50, so I sold half at 120.48, but then it went back my way. I sold another half on this big up bar here at 120.77, had another big up bar here, sold at 120.94, and then had another big up bar here at 121.11. We were getting close to the third ATR channel. I saw that 100-day above, so I said, you know what, that's good enough. So in at 120.46, out at 120.48, out at 120.77, out at 120.94, and out of 121.11. So that was a good little day trade. Day trading has been pretty good lately with all of this volatility. Then I did have a day trade on VIX on the 5-minute. Here we go. I don't know if Carlos is out there, but good example of a false breakout to the downside and a V1. Here's the low. This was the false breakout of the range. We also combined that with a V1. I bought here at I bought here at 1273. My stop is halfway of the washout bar. It immediately went up. It tested my level twice, held. Then I had a big up bar here, sold half at 1280. Had another big up bar here, rejected the 50 EMA, closed down, sold the other half at 1284, and then I had a close below the previous day's low. So I got in at 1273, out at 1275, out at 1280, and out at 12 84. So that was a good little trade there. Good little day trade. All right, let's take a look at your positions. BWA, Frank bought BWA at 47.12. A few bars later, he sold half right up here. I guess I should put a line, but right up here about 49.63. He sold half on the strength. Is up today. So up on the day, up on the trade, and pretty sweet. Way to go, Frank. NVAX, speaking of Frank, boy, this has had a nice rally off that 100. Frank bought NVAX way back here at 135. It more than doubled. He sold 90% of his position into strength, which I'm very proud of him for doing that, because that is what I like to do. I like to sell into strength. And then he kept 10% just for funsies, and came all the way back down, but it's rallied nicely off there. So he has a little 10% runner, a little 10% trailer. So excellent trade there. Kamal did buy PKI at 126.60 with a V2 higher low close above the 200-day moving average. He bought it at 126.60. It's 128.77, up 1.77% today. Excellent, Kamal. Way to go. MACD's positive. That's good. All right. We have Tracy. We have Paxton that bought BYD, Boyd Gaming, all the way back here at 47.38. Sold half here at 55.70 and kept the other half. Motor on up. Was down yesterday, but today up another 2.97%. And from entry to current price, almost 25% on this trade. Excellent work for Paxton and for Tracy. eBay, this has been an excellent trade for Mamal and Timothy. They bought the deep dip buy with the rejection of the 200. They bought it at 53. All right, 53.30. It's 59.72. Great trade for Timothy and Mamal on this trade. They are up 10.82%. Excellent. Etsy, Carlos bought Etsy at 216.16. It is currently 217.58. It is up 3.85% today, and Carlos is back in the money on the trade. So way to go there. Amazon. I have Gary buying a half position of Amazon with this higher low V1 close back above the 200, 31.34.92. Yesterday we had the big reversal bar. It is up a bit today. We're stuck at about right around yesterday's big downward bar. We're stuck at about halfway. So Gary, if you're still out there and you still have that, let me know. And then Merck. I think, oh yeah, everyone's out of Merck. Okay. All right. Steve says Etsy has a 1050 SMA crossover today with the big candle. Yes, it does. That is definitely on my list to take a look at that one, Steve. Thank you for letting me know. Yavar is here. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, Yavar. New Trader says, thanks, Nigma. Nigma says, welcome. You can buy yourself a Happy Meal with the money. Steve says, wow, V chart. Visa? Oh my. What is happening there? Look at that. Wasn't even strong enough to hold in the value zone. So at this point, if I was looking at this, I would be looking for a deep dip buy down here at the 200. That would be a pretty sweet, good risk to reward ratio. You can see last time we were down at the 200, that seemed to be the place to buy. Will it hold again there? We don't know. But I like to look in the past and look at the moving average that I'm looking at currently and see if it held in the past. That's something I learned from Steve Burns, and that has suited me well. So, wow, that's a lot of supply coming into the market, a lot of selling. I You know, if I was looking to buy this trade, I would look for a nice rejection of the 200-day moving average. I may sell puts on Visa here next week if I can find a good level, maybe down here about like 180 or something. I'll have to look at that. I hadn't seen Visa today. Wow. Wowzers. Steve says Nike chart went wild after earnings. Yes, it did. Wow. Just straight up and then straight back down, bounced off the lows, so kind of stuck in purgatory here. Boy, this one scares me. I wouldn't want to get involved with that one. MA is the same, Steve. Yep. Hasn't tested the previous low yet. Again, I would look at this confluence here of the 200-day moving average and the negative third ATR channel. This is a good example of looking at a chart like this, being patient and identifying levels. And you may not want to buy it today. I certainly wouldn't buy this today, but in the making yourself a note and go, whew, okay. On MasterCard, we have the 200-day moving average. We have the negative third ATR channel. There's a super confluence there. This is what I would do. I would do this, and then I would look over on the weekly and see if that lined up with something nice. Nothing really spectacular on the week, but even on the daily, I would definitely, it backtest well. Rejections of the 200-day backtest well on moving on MasterCard. Facebook is on such a tear. Yes, it is. I'm selling this today. I don't really have a distinct sell signal. It hasn't rejected the 70. It hasn't done anything. But this has been such a big trade in such a short amount of time. Like I said earlier, I'm just going to lock profits in on this today, and I am going to look for a better risk to reward ratio. Steve says PTON. Peloton. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. I better write that one down, Steve. Let me just do a little math here, if you don't mind. All right. And this one. All right. So what do we have? We have a rejection of the negative 1 ATR channel. We have pretty close to a V2, not quite yet. It's a higher low one. Higher lows are better than lower lows. Lower lows, people that were fortunate enough to buy here, as soon as it stops going up, they sell. That's usually what causes us to come back down. If you can get a higher low trigger after that, then you don't have to worry about these people selling into you on the way up. They already sold here, and it makes it easier to have a leg up. I quite like that, and MACD is positive. So let me put this on the list here as well. I do like that one, Steve. Thank you for sharing that. Sonny says, DOJ probes Visa over alleged anti-competitive debit card practices. Oh, well, that will do it. Trollmaster, Trollmaster Fiction Fables of Europa. How you doing? SPCB Sigma 5. SPCB. Supercom Limited? Oh my. Well, there you go. Look at that, up 49.66%. Up huge. This is a bearish bar. People sold right into that open. I would not be buying this here thinking that it's a dip, because it couldn't even go up higher than the open. Everyone immediately started to sell. Trollmaster, do you have this? Do you have SPCB? Chatin says there can be something wrong with the card industry, smart players exiting. Could be. Frank, involuntary head nods. It's good. Oh, I skipped over. I was looking for Frank's chart, but I got kind of gabbing. So let me paste this in here real quick, Frank. And let's see what Frank has for us today. Always great hearing Frank's poems. Markets do stall, though you do your best and give it your all, but it can feel like a boat into a fall. There comes a time to trade small, follow your plans, hear the call, and always read the writing on the wall. Wow. Bravo, Frank. As always. I mean, every day they get better. Markets do stall. Yes, they do. Though you do your best and give it your all, but it can feel like a boat into a fall. There comes a time to trade small. That is so true. Following your plans, hear the call, and always read the writing on the wall. Wow. It's fantastic, Frank. Thank you for doing that every day. I really look forward to these and hope you come out with a trading poem book one day, because I think it's going to be a great seller. Not only are these just great poems, but I mean, they're so pertinent to trading and so deep. And I like this part here about trading small. There is a time to trade small. No doubt about it. Okay. What time is it? 1:32. Let me just take a little look around here. Okay. All right, so listen, before we start going through the watch list, before we start trying to look for our 3 requirements of entering any trade, which, by the way, are confluence combination of indicators. Number 2, good risk to reward ratio, at least 2-to-1. Number 3, position size for volatility. Take a few minutes before you hit the buy button. Do you really need the trade? Do you know exactly what you're going to do? Do you have a trade plan? Are you looking for correlated positions? I mean, do you have too many correlated positions? Right? How much account heat do you have? These are the 3 requirements that I have to take into consideration, all 3 of them, before I enter into a new trade. But before we do that, let's switch gears and talk a little bit about our minds. Let's talk a little bit about trader psychology. As you know, I have some of my favorite posters on Twitter and Facebook that I follow each day. Read their posts. If I find something that's helpful for me and I think will be helpful for you, I'd like to cut it out. My favorite poster of all times, of course, is Steve Burns, who is right here in the chat with us right now. This is over on Facebook, the New Traders, Rich Traders page over on Facebook. If you're not a member, come on over there, apply. Some great traders in there. It's a serious forum. And Steve's there, Kamal's there, Tom Basso's there, I'm there. And so do yourself a favor and come over. And also, just a quick word about Steve Burns. Listen, you know, this man has taught me so much good information over the years. I've read all of his books. I was fortunate enough for him to ask me to write the foreword to his latest Moving Averages 101 book. And that was a real honor, Steve. Thank you. But Steve has a lot of good content that he posts on Facebook and Twitter. He has a lot of great content over on newtraderu.com. That's his webpage. He has some online courses there, books, great articles. So if you have a moment, go over to New Trader U and see what Steve doesn't say a whole lot in this chat, but he knows a whole lot. And over on newtraderu.com, he shares that. So let's see what Steve has to say today. Missing a trade is a much more serious error than making a bad trade. Okay, take that in. Missing a trade is a much more serious error than making a bad trade. If you make a bad trade, you have your stop loss, right? And if you position size like I do, you have a maximum allowed loss. So the worst thing that can happen, you'll lose your maximum allowed loss. And if you're okay with that maximum allowed loss, it's not a big percentage of your capital, no harm, no foul, right? So missing a trade is a much more serious error than making a bad trade. If you make a bad trade, you have the stop loss. However, if you miss a good trade, there is nowhere to turn. if you miss good trades with any regularity, you are finished. Isn't this good? From William Eckhart, one of the original guys that started the turtle traders. So, if missing a trade is more serious than having a bad trade. We're going to have bad trades. We're all going to have bad trades, but missing a trade that could turn into a monster, that's really the tough part, because then you're giving up lots and lots of profit because you missed the trade. And by the way, in my teaching, I find very often that if I have, a certain setup, I don't know, like a V1, and it fails, and the next one fails, the student very often does not want to take the next trade because the first two failed. That is a mistake. If you have a valid signal, if you have a valid strategy, just because it failed once, twice, 3 times, in my opinion, you should take it again, because very likely the one you are not going to take is the one that's going to take off. So one more time, missing a trade is much more serious error than making a bad trade. If you make a bad trade, you have your stop loss. However, if you miss a good trade, there is nowhere to turn. If you miss good trades with any regularity, you are finished. So, had the 520 crossover on the Qs yesterday or a couple days ago that failed. Humans being how humans are, think, I don't want to take that one. It didn't work next time. But I take them as long as they're within my tolerances. I take them, but I understand. Like, you'd rather take a 520 on something new than the one you just lost on. But if you have a good back-tested approach, stick with it, even though you don't want to. So that's kind of what I get out of this from what Steve said here. But don't pass up good trades because you just lost on the previous one. All right, thank you, Steve Burns. That was a good reminder for me, and I hope it's a good reminder for everyone else. All right, so the Dow's down 81, NASDAQ still up about 111, S&P is up about 12. So let's turn our attention to some potential end of day trades here. Let me check in on the chat. New Trader U says MSTR very close to a 520 EMA crossover. Okay. Oh, this one is MicroStrategies. I always get Monster and MicroStrategies confused. 755.64, 756.36 on the 20. So yes, close, but not there yet, right? And MicroStrategies, this is the company that owns all the Bitcoin, so it's very Bitcoin related. Just so you're aware of that. Oh, no. Oh, how dare you. Gosh, guys, my chart. Let's see if it can recover. If not, I'm going to have to, gosh dang it. Apologize, everybody. As you know, this happens. Gosh dang it. All right, hopefully I'll be back up before the close of the market. Okay, well, you know what I do during this time? What do I do? We'll put this up. I apologize, everybody. That's so frustrating. I don't know what it is. Maybe I have too many symbols on there. I don't know what the deal is. But I'm going to have to restart this back up. Jan says, is it a silly question, but please answer, sir. Why has the market been preponed by 1 hour? Preponed? I don't know what that means, Jatin. Steve says, one of the best trading questions of all time, trading quotes of all time by Eckhart, missing a big winner can be worse for your profitability than taking a small loss. Absolutely. 100%. I really like that post. All right, so my trade navigator is coming back. Just give me a second. Gary says, hello, Greg and group. I'll send in my doctor's note soon. Yes, I would expect that. I need some kind of written Note, Timothy says, is fast V1 with a cross. Okay, let me wait till my charts get back up here, Tim, and I will take a look, okay? All right, fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Whew. Although I think probably because it did that, I think I probably lost some of my data. I lost all of my data. Gosh dang it. All right, sorry guys. I want to get to the chat, but let me take care of this first. Gosh darn it. All right, and let me put back my potentials today. Etsy, Disney, Beyond Meat, okay. All right, let's look at Etsy. So Etsy does backtest well with the 1050 SMA. I did backtest this earlier. I like right where it's at in the value zone. The 10 is 212.99 and the 50 is 212.41. So this is a nice crossover here. It's very tame. It's right in the middle of the value zone. If we had one big day down, very likely this would stop us out, which I like. I don't like buying crossovers way up high because it has to come way back down for that to potentially uncross. So I do quite like this. MACD is not positive yet, but we are above the 50 RSI. I do quite like Etsy with the 1050 EMA cross. Disney, so we were above the value zone. We went sideways. We went lower. We held. We do have a V1. This is a V1 on Disney. Has the 5 and the 10 above. Let's switch over to the weekly and see. It's up near the third ATR channel. I think I'm just going to let that one be. But it is a legitimate trade. It's a false breakout to the downside and a V1. Here is day 1. Here is day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1. Day 2 closed above day 1's close and the previous low of the range. And it went under 50, over 50. Still pretty good. I'll tell you what, and it is up on a day when the Dow is negative. So that's pretty good. I'm a little concerned about the weekly. I mean, we're up near the third ATR channel. We're at the second ATR channel. We have been holding support of the 5 EMA. I think I still like Etsy better. Beyond Meat has a close, a higher low close under the 250, over the 250. This does give potential for a good risk to reward ratio. I would imagine you would run into some resistance up here at the 200-day moving average. Don't know for sure. Probably run into some resistance right here about halfway of this big down bar. So halfway would be about right there. So the way that I look at this, if I look from here to here, It's a little bit more than from here to a close under the 250. I mean, I don't know. Based upon the halfway of the big down bar, I just don't think it really qualifies as a good 2-to-1. Netflix has a higher low V1 back above the 200-day moving average. Here's the V1, day 1, day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1, closes above day 1's close, back in the value zone. It's a 43.30 RSI. It's a good risk to reward ratio. It is up today, although not a ton more than just the NASDAQ itself. On the weekly, Netflix, nothing. It rejected the 50, so I think I'm going to let that one go. CBOE. Yeah, we came into the value zone. We made a lower high. Are my eyes deceiving me? Yeah. When I make a lower high, I want to wash out that first low. We have not washed it out, so I'm going to let that one slide as well. Walmart. Very close to a higher low V2, but it would have to close above 132.28. It closed below the -1 ATR channel, rallied into the value zone, had a pullback. Now we're working on this V2. If this does close above 132.28, it will be a decent higher low V2 with MACD positive. I like this, but only if it closes above 132.28. And then Steve pointed out to us the higher low close back above the 200-day on Peloton Interactive. We're back in the value zone. MACD is positive. On the weekly, don't think I really like anything in particular on the weekly. But yeah, this is a good risk reward ratio. So my 3 favorite at the moment are Etsy, as long as we keep the 1050 EMA crossover. Right now it's 212.96, 212.40 on the 50. I think this one gives a good risk reward ratio. This is a 1050 SMA, by the way. It is not a 1050 EMA. I do like Walmart. I do like Walmart there. I like the red to the green bar. MACD is positive. Over on the weekly, weekly's neutral. Yeah, weekly's neutral. 132.28. It could get there, and then PTON. All right, what do we have? About 10 minutes. Let me see if I have enough time to look at that fast. V1 with the cross. I don't see the cross you're talking. Oh, you're talking about the 1050 EMA cross with the V1. Yes, that is true. I don't know how the 1050 EMA cross on backtest on fast though, but yes, it is a V1 over the 50. MACD's positive. Yep. Gary says, you remember VUZI? You had it from $1.88, sold 85% back in January, but still flying. Excellent. Steve says, daylight savings time postponed the market by 1 hour. I didn't know that. Wow. Kamal says, Jatin, there has been time change in most of the U.S. If you are outside, then you will. Oh, I see. Dave says, I've been looking at ARC, and there is a V1 today and above 1 ATR. What do you see something else? It's not bad. It's a higher low V1 in the value zone. MACD is positive. Holding the 50. I quite like it, David. I quite like it. Okay, so Facebook, I am exiting. QS, I am holding. SPY, I'm buying at the close. SQ, I am holding. Etsy, Walmart, and PTON. So Etsy, Walmart, PTON. Walmart does not look like it is going to trigger the V1. PTON is valid. And Etsy has a valid 520 cross. I am kind of thinking, yeah, I like Etsy best so far right now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sell Facebook right here. Okay, good trade, Facebook. Thanks for that. And thanks for Kamal for pointing that out. I would not have had that trade if Kamal had not pointed that out. Thank you, Kamal. All right, so I'm putting Facebook over there. All right, so it looks like Etsy is my one today. Unless Walmart triggers, if it does trigger, then I'll buy half and half. All right, Steve says I'm long Etsy. Okay, good. Greg, are you waiting for the 1050 cross under on Q because the 520 cross under happened? Yeah, I'm waiting for the 1050 cross EMA cross on square, not the 520. All right, so we have about 5 minutes to go. Let me make sure Etsy is going to stay with us, hopefully. 212.80. 212.37, so yes, it is. But come on, I did sell half on Square. You remember that? I sold half on Square. PTON making a high on the day. Amazon making a high on the day. NVAX making a high on the day. What's Apple doing? Did Apple go? No, Apple's red. Apple has been extremely weak. My gosh. Can barely, I mean, it's down on a day like today. All right, I'm going to buy Etsy here. I may also buy Walmart because now it's rallying. 132.28. I don't know if it's going to get there. Yeah, I don't think so. I guess it's possible. Apple looks like it's selling off. Closing in 1 minute. About 40 seconds on my end. Dow Jones down 235 now. All right, just a few seconds left. And that is the end of the trading week, everybody. Woo! All right, let's take a look and see where I got filled here. SPY, I got filled at 389.48. Etsy, I got filled at 215.80. Okay, so SPY, I got filled at 389.48. Okay. And then Etsy. Okay, I'm going to have to 216.16. So let me put that on there for Carlos. 216.16. All right, and then I got filled at 215.80. So I didn't get a great fill on that. I bought a little early. So that's it. And I did exit Facebook. I locked that in today. All right. Well, nice green day today. Very happy for that. Very happy for good day trades. So listen, if my students have any new additions or subtractions for me today to put up on the board, this is the time to do it. Just go ahead, put it in the live stream chat, and I will get to it. Before I do that, just want to remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I teach a 15-hour course where I teach you step-by-step and one-on-one all 5 of my trading strategies step-by-step, so you know exactly what to do at all times. How to position size, emergency stops, end of day stops, profit targets, overhead resistance levels. If you take the course, I know you're going to be a better trader. It's 15 hours. It's a long course, but you know, having the one-on-one, I think, is really a great way to learn something from a teacher, is doing it one-on-one. I've turned out some really good traders, and the cost is $1,750, but I promise you it's worth every penny for the amount of attention you get and what you are going to learn. So if you are interested, please just send me an email. The email is in the description of this video. You can send me a message on Twitter, and if you do, send me an email or a Twitter message. I will reply and say, how's it going? Thanks for saying hi. Please, let's set up a Skype call. I just want to learn more about you and your trading, your goals, what you're trying to learn and what you're trying to achieve. And then it's a really great time for you to ask me questions about the course, any detailed questions you have about the course. And then when we're done with the call, think about it. And if you decide, you want to go ahead and take the course with me, you can just email me back and we'll get it scheduled. Secondly, I do have a new online course on udemy.com. It's called the Deep Dip Buy Stock Trading Strategy. It's a really good course. It's 9.5 hours of video, 26 videos total, 15 study guides. And I've got some really good reviews on this course. It's very inexpensive and affordable. It's somewhere between like $12 and $15 when you get it on sale. If you're not financially able to do the one-on-one course, this would be a great place to start. And that $12 or $15, I'm telling you, that's a bargain. So if you're interested in that course, the link's in the description of this of this podcast right now, of this live stream right now. It's just in the description. And then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I really would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. Helps to keep the channel around, helps to build the channel, helps YouTube know that there's some valuable content here. So if you could, if you could just take a couple seconds to hit that thumbs up button before you boogie on out of here for your weekend, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. Okay, so Steve is long Etsy as well. So I'm going to put up here, Steve, 1050 SMA, cross at 217.27. Okay. Frank is also in Etsy for halfy. Frank, 1/2. Excellent. Tracy says, look at the bar on J&J. Rejection of the 50-day moving average, rejection of the 50 RSI. Yeah, not real positive unless you're seeing something other than that. J&J looks like it got sold into today. Yes. Steve is long Monster. I think Monster. Is it Monster? I always get these two confused. MSTR. Oh, MicroStrategies. Okay. So Steve is long MicroStrategies at 779.59. Steve. Well, you'll know how you're doing on this one. You can just look at Bitcoin over the weekend, and that will pretty much, I think, tell you how that one's going. I like that trade, though. Did it cross? 758.01, 757. Yeah, it did. Excellent, Steve. Good luck on that one, bud. Gary, 1/2. Okay, so what did Gary do here? Credit spread on LITE, 80, 75, 77.50 strikes expiring on April 16th, $60 per contract. All right, so he's doing a spread. He does not want it to, he wants it to close above $80. And the only place he can lose money on this trade is if it closes somewhere between $80 and $77.50. David says, monster, pretty nice, 520 cross and below under 50. Did you buy that, David? Did you buy that? Greg, I have a quarter position in Amazon. Okay. Yeah. Oh, a quarter. Okay. All right. Updated. David is an ARC. Yeah, I like that. That triggered nice there. Okay. J&J volume is significant. Tracy says, Kamal, Gossett Trading Mentoring. I've got to mess with this other chart I have available on this computer. It looks way different. 151, 160, 150 on a 5-minute bar. You're not looking on the daily bar, Trace? I mean, let's look at the 5-minute bar. You're probably looking intraday, I imagine. Oh yeah. Let's see. You're looking on the 5-minute bar. 5-minute is just part of the daily. So looking on the daily, you know, if you're trading intraday, you can use a 5-minute chart, but that doesn't surprise me. It was triple witching for options today. It was the end of the day. So yeah. So I think my 5-minute chart looks pretty similar to your 5-minute chart, right? This looks different because this is the daily. I also dropped my Facebook and bought Etsy. All right. You dropped it? All right. All right. So Tracy and I are out of Facebook. That was a really good trade. And Etsy. Yeah. I mean, you know, Facebook was a good trade, but I'd rather take some of that profit, invest that profit into a stop loss on something that has a better risk to reward ratio like Etsy does at this time. David says, no, I did not see the MSTR trade, but it looks pretty nice. Okay, no trades for Kamal. Gary says, thank you, Greg. Have a great weekend. David says, happy weekend for all. Good to see you, David. Good to see everyone. All right. So, hey, before I let you go, real quick, let's do it, right? If we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction, by Martin Kortfeld. So please, everybody, go out, make a concerted effort to go out and try to do one nice thing for one human being today. Try to go out and do one nice thing for another animal. It's going to make the animal feel good. It's going to make the human feel good. It's going to make you feel good. All three of you are going to feel great, right? What's wrong with that? And if we all did that every day, the world just by osmosis would become a better place. So that's all I ask from you. Please just try to go out and do something nice for somebody today if you get the chance, or something nice for an animal, okay? Okay. Jonathan, oh, hey, good to see you, buddy. I'm looking forward to our first lesson on Sunday afternoon. Be the first time I ever taught in the afternoon. But good to see you, Jonathan. Thank you for coming, and looking forward to working with you. Jatin says, God bless you, sir. Thank you for everything. Have a great weekend. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, Jatin. Greg, have a great weekend. The same for everyone. Thank you so much, David. Moal says, I got ARC and PTON. Thanks, Greg, and have a great weekend. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to put those up there, Moal, right? You know why? But you let us know how they're doing. Okay. You let us know how ARC and PTON are doing. But I like both of those. I like both of those. So I didn't take that, and I didn't take Walmart. Might be able to get Walmart on a V2 now. All right. All right. So good day today, right? Good day today. Yesterday was a beating, but today was good. So all is right in the world. So have a good weekend. Go out, be good, be safe, do something nice for somebody, read some trading books, go for a walk, do something positive, right? Read one of Steve Burns' books. Moving Averages 101 is an excellent one, really good. Yeah, Greg, I'm aware. Okay, thanks, Mamal. Just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Kamal. Appreciate that, bud. And yeah. Let's have a good weekend. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll get back to it on Monday morning. So thank you all for coming. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye now. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation, and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.